welcome to the Crypto Show's Digital Cash Evolution right here in Phoenix, Arizona. We are your go-to source for cryptocurrency information with training and obtaining. We've got Doug in studio. How are you doing today, Doug?
Doing great. Excited to talk about some crypto today and get some people informed.
All right. Yeah, the price is coming up, so the meetups will start filling up again. That's how that always works. And what do you got planned for this evening, Doug?
We're going to head over to Classic Crust again after the show here. That's at Cave Creek and Cactus Road. I'll be there by 6 p.m. And the listeners here, if you want to come on down after you hear the show, you want to got some questions about crypto or just want to come by and talk, maybe we'll trade a little crypto. I'll give you a few bucks in Bitcoin or Dash and come learn about crypto.
Yeah, and do you have your ATM up and running, your little mobile unit yet?
No, we're still working on getting that going soon, though. Yeah, we're going to be able to, we're going to have a portable unit. We operate ATMs, and most of them are in smoke shops and other places. But we've got this, right, like you said, this portable one that we're going to start moving around with us so people can do transactions and mess around, play with it.
Yeah, and also I've got Chuck Williams, my other co-host, who's going to be co-hosting another show with me on the Bloomberg Network coming up, and he's here with us. We're decentralized, just like cryptocurrencies are. We're in Denver, Colorado area right now, and
glad to be here, Danny. Thanks for having me, man.
And the thing is, I think we should just go ahead and go home now. Hang this up. Let's kill the show because, well, Bitcoin's dead, right?
Yeah, it's actually died 306 times according to BitcoinObituaries.com.
What? Bitcoin has died 306 times. That's more than The Walking Dead.
Right? Yeah.
So and the stock markets, man. Like, how has Bitcoin done compared to the traditional stock markets?
Well, I was just looking at it the other day, and the stock market, when it hit its peak in the dot-com bubble, it was at 6.7 trillion, and this last run-up that we had only peaked out at about 795 billion, which is about 0.8 trillion. So, and now we're down to less than that. Like, the whole cryptocurrency market is about 289 billion. So we got a long way to go before we even match what the dot-com bubble was. And that's not even including today's inflated dollars.
Right. But so how does that compare overall to the traditional stock markets?
Well, looking at that comparison, it's very small. It's just a blip on the radar. If you compare them side by side, the stock markets are there's a lot more going on in stock markets, and the cryptocurrency is a nascent baby industry by comparison. Stock markets is, I think we're going on 100 years old, a little over 100 years old, not too long ago. And, the cryptocurrency market started with Bitcoin. That was the first of now, 1,500 now? Over 1,600, running on 1,700 cryptocurrencies and tokens. And, we're only 10 years in now. So.
And think about how when you're investing in stocks, think about stock prices are going to be limited to the amount of earning potential of a company. So, the larger stocks we know of that are up in the 800s or 1000s for their price, that still has kind of a barrier, a peak at least I should say, that Google, Apple, whatever, they can't. There's a price there where they're not going to continue to just go because they are limited to the earning potential of the company, whereas Bitcoin doesn't have that barrier.
Right. I was wondering, do stocks have 8 ATMs in Phoenix, Arizona that you can just go and buy some stocks from?
Not that I've seen, man. I can look for you, but no, I haven't.
Oh, that would be incredible. Well, that's a good point too, because the stock market only has certain groups accessing it. Those who are investors, those who are accredited, those who are involved in the stock market. But cryptocurrency is available for anybody.
It's like a penny stock that your 4-year-old.
Oh, we might have lost Danny there. All right, so we'll pick it up from him. So let's talk while we're waiting to get Danny back. Let's talk a little bit about what is Bitcoin. If we could, kind of roll it back just a little bit for you if you're tuning in. Also, if you have questions, feel free to call in the station at 602-277-KFNX. That is 602-277-5369. But what is Bitcoin? What is cryptocurrency? So Bitcoin and crypto are a new way of transferring value across the internet. And so what makes Bitcoin different is this is a peer-to-peer way of transferring. So peer-to-peer, what that does is that removes the middleman. That removes the banks. That removes the Visas and the MasterCards and the third parties that really are just custodians of your money until you ask for access it and hope they give it to you, because that's, in fact, when you have your money in a bank, they are the custodian of your money. You have to hope that they give it back to you. So what I mean by that is, if you look in Greece, the people that had their in 2013 that had their money in their banks, when they went through their economic crisis, they woke up one Monday morning and the banks just didn't open. And when they finally did, I don't know if it was a week later or whatever, they restricted ATM withdrawals to $60 per day per person, and all these other controls and limits on your money that we have it pretty good here in the U.S. And if you go into your bank today, you're going to have access to your money, but are we going to have that Monday morning?
Well, you'll have access to some of your money. If you go over too much, then you have to order your money, which is always funny.
Yeah, I've run into that too. You go in, and if you want larger amounts of cash, this is my cash. Oh, I'm sorry, you're going to have to let us know. And
they're asking you what's it for, and they're filing something.
Yep. So Bitcoin is peer-to-peer. So we don't have to route our money. Every time you swipe your card, there's approximately 7 parties that are involved in that transaction. And we wonder why we have our identities stolen and credit card fraud. And every single one of those parties is a failure point. If they've got access to your data and it leaks, then boom, that's the weakest link in the chain there. So,
it's like, that's the one thing I love about cryptocurrency is that you can keep something that allows people not to draw on your account. Whereas if you use a credit card, if they have your numbers, they can use it whenever they want to.
And that's actually where that Bitcoin is a push transaction versus a pull transaction, which means you are pushing the transaction. A pull transaction would be a Visa or MasterCard, where you're giving them the credentials to your money, and they pull from your account. So I guess we got Danny back?
Yes, we pushed our way back on through Skype.
Great.
I see you're talking about the push versus pull transactions. Are you explaining the safety of that versus using credit cards online?
Exactly. Yeah. Talking about how the weakest link in the chain, if there's 7 parties involved in a Visa or MasterCard transaction, then if they leak your data, boom, it's all over.
Yeah, I know. I think about like every time you have to call someone up and give them your full credit card, you're just like giving some random person over the phone that you do not know.
Yeah, I cringe every time they. Yeah, I cringe every time they say, "Read me the 3-digit number on the back of your card," and it's like, what is the point of that? Having that
security code,
security
but everybody has it.
It's really absurd. And so, Bitcoin is like handing cash. So handing someone a $10 bill is also a push transaction. So that's what I mean by a push transaction. So we'll be right back, guys.